it's Holly with Ivy Cole Creations, and today I am doing an Iron Crafters Challenge. This challenge for the month of March was a recipe challenge, and the recipe called for a cut file or die cuts, embossing powder, and stamping. So I pulled out this cut file of a bowl of popcorn and tickets and attempted to do it. I hate cut files. I hate triangles and I hate cut files. They're just so finicky and they're not my favorite things to do. But I persevered and I got it done. It took me something like 3 days to do this layout, and it was a challenge. So what I ended up doing was using my embossing ink or embossing liquid and just pouncing all over the cut file so that I could get the liquid down so the powder would stick. And I had to keep remembering to switch my paper so that my embossing powder didn't stick to the page. So I wanted my bucket to be red, and these embossing powders are so old. They're literally from like 1994. So they're 30, oh my God, 30 years old. And I was going to stop there and just do the bucket red. But then I decided, since I have them out, I might as well do the popcorn gold. And I had already cut the part to fill in out of yellow. And so I figured the gold would work as the outline. Now, because this embossing powder is 30 years old, holy smokes, it bubbled immediately. There was no time to heat. It kept melting off. And so it was finicky, and it took me a little while to get it done. Once I got it completed, I glued it to the yellow that I was going to use as the background for the popcorn, and I had a little bit of paper left, so I used that to fill in all the little other popcorn kernels. I wanted the tickets to be different colors, so I used the green as one, but then I figured the empty one would be my journaling space, and so I just filled that in with a white card. But I had already done white behind the popcorn box, and so I wanted there to be nothing overlapping. So I got it laid down and stuck on there finally. And then I decided I needed the outline to be colored. So I just used a black marker to color it in. And then I thought, oh, well, maybe this will go faster if I just use my distress ink, or my distress ink was too dry. So I tried using this Simon Says Stamp ink, and that was too dry. So then I just decided to finish coloring it in with the marker anyway. When something works, don't change it. Because you'll end up getting ink all over your paper. And then I tried to erase the black, and it just made a bigger mess. So I decided, whatever, I was just going to go with it, just make it work. And then I attached the green to the back of the other ticket. Now what I do is I attach things down and then I cut out around them. I found that is the easiest way to get accurate sizing for a cut file. or else I'm cutting things too small and too narrow, and then it doesn't work at all. So I'm just filling in the last little bits of the popcorn, and then I decided to work on the rest of my layout. So Linda Moet designed today's sketch for day 27, and I was having a hard time getting things to go in a line because she has lines behind her photos and then banners behind the center photo and then more banners behind the title. And I thought, since I had this cut file, I would just create the lines with film strips and have that as the background for my photos. And I really, once I figured it out and decided what I was going to do, it came together. Sometimes it takes me a little while to figure out what I'm doing. I went off script a little bit. I knew I wanted the "at the movies" as the title, and I was going to just leave it like that, but then it was feeling too bottom heavy and it felt like things were floating a little bit. So that's when I started adding the frames with the extra pieces in it. So I decided I needed a box to fill this gap on the bottom right hand side. And so I just drew a black line around a piece of paper. And then I filled it in with little bits and pieces that I had. These stickers felt weird. They were like vinyl. So they weren't super sticky. They didn't like sticking to each other at all. And so I had a hard time with them. But I did find some more little hearts and things to finish off this layout. I ended up using thickers as the title, and of course I've had them for so long that the backing is coming off of them. So I decided I would try to use them up. And I wanted the to be smaller, so that took a while for me to find thickers that would fit in that space but not be too tiny. Because I had the smudging from the embossing powder, I decided to color in my box just a little bit, and I'm just using regular Crayola pencil crayons to do this, and I'm just shading in the edges just a little bit, and then I use some white to blend. I finally found another frame and decided to add just some little phrase stickers, etc., and put them up in the top corner and get my stickers used up. And that's about it. So please don't forget to check out the description box below for everybody who's playing along with the Iron Crafters Challenge, Christy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches Series 17, and then also, of course, my How to Kill a Cat with Style. And thank you so much for spending your time with me today.